Once we're live. Okay, we're live. So go ahead, Mike. Introduce yourself, then I'll introduce myself, and we'll just get this going.
Sweet. Okay, my name's Mike. I know I don't look like a Paraguayan, but I was born in the capital city, Asunción, Paraguay. German background, as you can see. Yeah, so we've been introduced to Terere down there for 1 year old.
So by the way, Terere, just for everyone watching this, Terere is the national drink of Paraguay. And yes. Mike has a lot of experience. You're actually from Paraguay, right?
Yes, I am from Paraguay. I grew up there, and I've been not all over the world, but kind of like living here and there. But yeah, I grew up there and lived there till I was 20. So
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's pretty ancient down there. They take it very seriously.
So what is terere? If you were to sum it up in one sentence, what is terere?
Terere, according to the people there, means like the sound of like slurping on the mate or whatever. They say it sounds like saying terere. I don't know if that's true. For me, it doesn't. But yeah, that's how, because the Guarani tribe is very oral. Everything is just not written, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they call it terere. And I think my common sense says to me that terere may be the oldest word. Before it was Ilex Paraguayensis or mate or Yerba mate. It was just called terere by the natives.
Okay.
And yeah, and they drank it like, well, from the spring waters with the bamboo stuff and all like ancient, and wasn't hot, not ice cold, just cold.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Okay, so just to recap for everyone watching, we're discussing, by the way, my name is Dave Monta. You've probably seen a million of my videos already, so I won't go into my story so much. But we're talking about a plant called Yerba mate. That's spelled Yerba, Yerba mate, M-A-T-E. This is also the same plant that grows in Brazil. It's called erva mate or chimarrão in Brazil. And this plant is a powerful plant. It's a holly tree grown in southern part of South America. And today we're focusing on the cold preparation of yerba mate tea, which is called terere, as Mike just explained. And just really quick, because I like to always put this in these videos, but mate is great because it helps you stay focused. It helps keep you alert. It helps restore the body back to homeostasis. You're dealing with a lot of diseases, issues, fatigue, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, osteoporosis. Yerba mate has shown to kind of alleviate all of these ailments. So yerba mate really is a miracle plant. I don't want to hype it up so much right now. You're going to learn all about it throughout this conversation, but that's my little spiel on yerba mate. I always like to throw that in because I know a lot of people are just finding out about mate from this video, perhaps. So I just wanted to give you a little history on the health benefits and the thing to remember with mate, apart from all the great community building aspects and apart from all the magical properties of this plant, which we'll talk about, it's just really good for your mind, really good for your brain, and really good for your entire system. So with that said, Mike, take it away. Let's get into terere.
Yeah, so, okay, we discussed the name, where it comes from. So, yeah, like I said, it was just fresh. And people down there, normally in the countryside, or interior, how they call it in Spanish, they make their own yerba mate. Like, they just grow it. Like my wife, for example, she did the same thing. Like, they grow the shrub and just, harvest the whole thing, right? They do it themselves. And so yeah, what else? Okay, so normally people drink it hot nowadays for the purpose of the health purposes and all that stuff. In Paraguay, for the health purpose itself, they put something called judos inside, which is kind of like roots or herbs, but it's more of, people always ask me, okay, what kind of herbs? Where can I get them? And 90% of those herbs are local. You get them in America, yeah. And so I just tell them, look for something refreshing, because normally those herbs are refreshing roots. They're not sweet, or they're just meant to be refreshing because it's very hot down there. And then it's been said, so people drink it a little bit colder during there was a war going on, the Chaco War, which is between Bolivia and Paraguay, and the troops went up because Paraguay basically is separated by a river called Paraguay River, and the whole northern portion is kind of like really dry. It's Gran Chaco. It's dry, hot. It's like just picture Australia, kind of the same thing. So
it's like a desert.
Yeah. So when the soldiers went there, obviously it was freaking hot. So they tried to do it colder and colder, and they used the yerba mate as their filter because the water was dirty and it was just muddy water or whatever. I mean, they didn't have, for starters, they didn't have water. It was really dry, but the small amounts of water they were getting was really dirty, was not drinkable. So they used the yerba mate to filter it. And I used to, when I was like around 17, 16 years old, I used to like, for funsies, work as a gaucho like on summer holidays, vacation. And that is true. We drank water, like dirty water as well. We just used the yerba mate, and I never puked, never, threw up.
So mate, you're saying, filters out toxins from water.
Now, obviously, you could taste the water wasn't.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it never. And what they use for example, I use, well, as you can see, this thermos, and it comes like, well, this is like a classic setup. Like you would see in Paraguay, people all like they just walk with this. Well, this would be like very traditional, maybe not this big, but they just have the.
And what sort of gourd is that? So people, they're maybe curious. Explain the gourd. What is that made out of, and why do you drink out of that particular form?
So this is a horn. For me, it's just nostalgia because my grandpa did it. And I passed it on. So yeah, that's just nostalgia. People, there's like two different kinds of terere drinkers. Like you have the city folks, which are like all hipster with this stuff, and they have this little stainless cup with like leather wrapped around as well. And they use yerbas, like for an example, like these.
Carope.
Kurupi, exactly. They're kind of like mixed menta and boldo, so it's kind of like herbs, right? Because I call them too lazy to.
Pre-made.
They're just way too hipster to kind of prepare in the traditional way. So they have it with this. And Kurupi actually is one of the. There's like so the Guarani have like legends out there, like they're legendary gods or beasts or whatever, and Kurupi is one of them. He actually is the rapist of the forest.
Oh no!
They're very, very. I don't know. The culture is like.
Yeah. What is? Let me ask you though. What is with the Paraguayans? Why do they always put a woman? Which is okay. I have nothing against it. I'm just curious as to why is it always like a woman's face on the front packages of like 3 different brands? I'm curious. Like, what does that mean? Like, I'm trying to figure out. There must be like a story behind that.
Well,
like La Rubia, I think Parito, maybe. Like I've seen 3 different.
Selecta as a woman.
Selecta, yeah.
Yeah. No, La Rubia, because Paraguay is like my kind you wouldn't see. Like I'm even considered a gringo down there, even though I grew up there. I speak and understand the Guarani language, kinda. So. For them, blonde is like, whoa, that's like not God, but that's kind of like.
All right, it's a part of like the whole like imperialism, like like prototypical figure. Yeah.
A blondie is like a girl. It's like wow, like that's like top shelf,
like the top of the top. That's the implication.
Yeah, so that would be my bet right behind it. Plus, as well, like these yerba growers, they're kind of like. My kind of like people that immigrated from like Ukraine or whatever.
Europe, yeah.
And the same that happens in Argentina happens in Paraguay with like those immigrants, like especially Germans in Paraguay. And Itapúa, the province, like it's close to Misiones, all that stuff. And this province is just basically almost German.
Yeah. In Argentina, there's similar situations.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I was curious about that. So you're saying with the terere, there's 2 different types of classes of people. Well, not classes, 2 different categories of people. So you have people who make their own Terere with their own herbs that they blend with with the mate, the cold water, and then you have some people who don't want to do all the manual labor, and they just want to buy a brand like Kurupi or Kurupi, that already has the mint and the boldo and the flavorful herbs. So
exactly, because if you now would put jujos on top of that, that's way too much. You know, it's like holy shit. Like now you have like Kurupi, you have all this boldo and on top menta. Like just the Yerba flavor.
And for those of you guys just tuning in, the jujos spelled Yuyo, plural S, so jujos. That just means herbs in Paraguayan dialect, I guess you could say.
Spanish dialect.
Yeah, the jujos. I pronounce it jujos. I pronounce it weird, but the Argentinian kind of way. But that just means herbs. So every time you hear us say that, we're just talking about any sort of herbs, but those herbs particularly are zesty herbs like mint, or even like even orange peels and things like that could be considered jujos in respect to making mate. But Paraguayan probably wouldn't use orange peel and lemon peel.
No, not for the cold version though. I mean, they use it a lot for the hot mates, obviously, like Argentinians do as well. And before we go on with the cold one, like when Paraguayans drink it hot, they normally do it like it's more like the countryside folks that drink it hot. In the city, like I don't know what's up with the city folks. They're getting too snobby, you know. But so for them, hot mate, oh no, that's like for poor people. Like there's this like thing going on in South America. Normally they have it with like this is like a brand that Rubisha, which means chief, and this would be relaxing. This would be to drink it hot. So you have linden, you have you have anise they use, and you have that chamomile. So that's like a hot mate blend. And
quickly, just since you mentioned that mate, do a little like 1 or 2 minute review on that mate. So talk about that for a second. Yeah. I like to help out the mate brands. You know, maybe a lot of people don't know about that brand. So let's help this brand out and, introduce them to the world.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the brand? Call it Rubisha?
Rubisha. Yeah.
Rubisha.
Yeah, which means chief in Guarani.
I like the branding. Really cool packaging.
It is. It is very cool. It comes from Caçapá, which is a province central of South Paraguay, like the whole interior. Because you have the Chaco and then you have the whole interior, which is jungle style. So you have center. So Caçapá, this is the only brand that comes out of Caçapá. So it is more like has lots of polvo,
powder.
Not as much palos. It's very common to drink it in Caçapá like that.
And the palos, for those of you guys listening, means sticks. Palos means the little white sticks in the mate. Some mate has it, some mate doesn't. And the polvo in Spanish, polvo in English, that means powder.
Yeah, let's see if we can. Can you see that there?
Put it up a little higher. Yeah, there it is.
So that is the Rubisha.
It's like very, very stemmy. A lot of stems in there, which is nice.
Yeah, because it is for the hot version, and then I personally like lots of stems in there with it.
And let's just make something clear, because a lot of people think that stems are bad. No, please, everybody watching this.
No,
I'm not going to call any companies out, but there were a particular group of companies that used to teach people that stems were bad, that stems were filler. I'm not going to mention those names of the companies, but that they did the world a disservice by teaching people that stems are necessary. Stems are not filler. Stems are actually integral parts of every yerba mate blend. Yes, sometimes blends don't have stems, and that's another situation. That's called pure leaf, and that's okay too. But stems, for me, are necessary.
Oh, man. Oh. If I don't have my big logs in there, man, I love it, you know?
Yeah. What do we got here? What's going on with this?
This brand, actually, I got to know in Vancouver. I didn't even know it existed.
Wow. Tell us about it. What's going on with that brand? Do a little review.
This one is from Obligado, which is a city like a colony at Itapúa, where the whole Paraguayan yerba goes. And this one's actually... You can see like good amount.
Ah, okay.
Oops, yeah.
It had sort of that rustic cut.
Yeah, a rustic cut. I really like it. So as a matter of fact, let's pour some in. Yeah. So yeah, no, so yeah, preparing it. So we got like, okay, we got it covered with the kurupi, and then you put the jujos. So people,
hold on a second. Hold on, I'm sorry. Joe, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's up? I have to drop something off for Khalid.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not here.
Just leave it here. Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
cool.
Yeah, I'm doing a recording, so I can't really talk.
Yeah, I
Cool.
got you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Mike, sorry, bro.
no worries, man, no worries. So we're like, okay, the jujos.
So,
Yeah.
Jujos, man.
Yeah. So traditionally, it's like Paraguayans know each jujo is for this or that. Let's say refreshing. Obviously, you go mint, or let's say, oh, I have like a digestion problem or something. They're even so good they just go outside, kind of look in the park, and just grab the jujo, just grab it out, put it in there. You know, stomp.
Yeah.
They stomp it traditionally with the whole.
With the mortar and pestle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they stomp it, and all that goes into the thermos. Yeah.
So they crush up the herbs with the mortar and pestle. Then they add the herbs into that large thermos that you just showed.
Yeah.
And then they add cold water and ice to the thermos.
Yeah. Or normally ice first, then jujos, and then water. Yeah,
Okay.
kind of. Yeah. So I mean, it's just, you can do whatever. I mean, it's just the best way of doing it.
Oh, okay, so ice first, then they add the crushed up herbs, aka jujos, and then they add the water last.
Yeah. And
then they mix it up.
Yeah. And that's it.
And that's going to become your mate water when you're adding that to the gourd.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, and to make it even quicker, because you won't walk with your mortar around or whatever, they just use plastic bags. Just put it in, wrap it in there, stomp it with whatever they have. You can even use like this to stomp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very primitive. Just like business, you know. So I have a trick. For example, today I didn't find no mint at a superstore. And I just have like normal yerba in here. And what I do is I cheat. I put a little bit of this inside and mix it. So
Cheater. No.
Oh yeah.
No, there are no rules. Like I always tell people, really, there are traditions and there are rules and whatever. I've taught them. I've written books about them. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's your mate experience.
Yes.
You make mate how you want. Because I get all these comments sometimes from people like, Dave, oh my God, you touched the bombisha. You touched the bombisha. I'm like, who cares? Yes, I did touch the bombisha. I'm the server. I could touch a bombisha if I want to touch a bombisha.
Yeah.
So we got some haters out there. That's okay. I love you guys. I sincerely love you guys, all the critics.
If I would go really like old school, what I've like seen, like I would be way different. But I'm a believer. Like I've been thought this way, and it's what it is. But I accept. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Why, you know?
Because it's ironic. Because it's like mates. For me, it's like a drink of peace and relaxing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like once you start to bring in all the crazy rules and the rigidity, then it's all like that's almost like defeats the purpose of the whole piece of mate.
Yeah.
So I never understood those people. I'm being critical right now myself. I'm just venting, but I'm always curious, like why do people get so strung up like on the rules and the regulations and like calm down. It's mate.
It's mate.
Drink the mate. Have fun. Live your life. You know.
when I mix it with like a little bit of, let's say, kurupi, I just do like maybe not even a third, like just like a small punch in there, you know.
Yeah.
Just, for me, I used to be, because I come from the city, I used to be big into like campesino blends and kurupi, and I said, no, that juju, you know, no, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But then as you grow older, you just get more.
Yeah, of course.
So, right now, like my wife's into all these kurupi things, but I'm not. I just like, you know, for example, pajarito, which is like the old classic.
Yeah. Pajarito, for those of you guys watching, Pajarito is probably the most well-known and most recognized brand of Paraguayan yerba mate. They're essentially like the Cruz de Malta of Paraguay. Would that be a fair assessment?
That would be a very fair assessment.
Not in terms of quality, though. Not in terms of quality. I would have to say Pajarito has better quality. Sorry, Cruz. But
oh well, and then you have the whole campesino line. Now that is what you will see in every despensa or convenience store in English. You will see in Paraguay almost a kurupi and bunch of campesino blends.
Yeah.
But you go countryside, obviously, you get the locals and whatever. But yeah, Pajarito would be like an old-time classic. And there's another thing is that they say, like, people don't drink, like, when they drink hot mate in Paraguay, they buy, like, for example, Taragüí, because that's the only Argentinian brand out there in Paraguay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, like, people that are not as wealthy, because Taragüí is freaking expensive in Paraguay. Paraguay, I think it's about $10, you know,
Yeah.
like 2 pounds or 2 point something pounds. And that's like down there, freaking expensive. Like,
Yeah.
here it's nothing, but there it is really expensive. So I try to drink them hot, like Paraguayan blends, but I don't know. I just can't get used to that square taste of. I like the well-rounded Argentinian taste when I drink it hot. So
yeah. So with the Paraguayan mate, you know, I myself, when I first started drinking Paraguayan mate, I was drinking it hot. And a lot of times Paraguayan people will say, that's crazy. Our mate has not been designed to drink hot. But I like drinking it hot and cold, and I'll explain why. Because when you drink Paraguayan mate, and mind you, Paraguayan mate, in my opinion, has a very, what I call cherry tobacco sort of flavor profile. It has a kind of grit to it, a flavorful, fruity, kind of tobacco-y, earthy grit to it, and I like that. Very powerful. So when you drink Paraguayan mate hot, it really, really expresses a strong, robust body. And it's, if you're not used to it, it's kind of like, whoa, punches you in the face. Yes. But I liked it because it's so unique. It's very unique compared to, well, you can't modify unique, but it's unique compared to Argentine yerba mate, unique compared to Brazilian yerba mate. So when you're drinking it hot, for me, that's a gourmet experience still, because you're gonna experience a lot of different flavors that you won't experience when you drink it cold. But when you drink it cold, in my opinion, you get to experience the subtle taste profiles, the subtle, delicate flavor profiles that you can't experience when it's hot. So I like to do it both. But I know a lot of Paraguayans, they call me crazy when I'm like, I drink it hot. But what do you think?
No, but the Paraguayans, like, obviously in the countryside, they don't have access to Taragüí. They do it hot too, in the mornings and evenings. And then I remind you guys, it's very hot in Paraguay. So you wouldn't dare to drink it like hot in the like heating sun of like Arizona temperatures or whatever. It's like, I would be I couldn't do it, right? So
yeah,
I got into hot mate being in Vancouver, because it's actually Vancouver all year round. It's just perfect mate. And so I'm about to prep this. So what I do is always I put it to the side, and then kind of and then kind of go like on top, because if I would do this, first of all, it's like curved, so it doesn't like. And then second, when you pour cold water, it just puffs it all up, you know?
Yeah.
So if you lay it on top for the cold version and maybe dig it in a little bit, or maybe like get it nice and aesthetic there, then it doesn't puff up, you know?
Yeah.
That's my own experience.
That's cool. So you positioned the mate on an angle, and you put the bombilla over.
On top, and I kind of the bottom, like the filter, just dig it in a little bit, and then kind of like do this again, kind of not like so it doesn't sit too.
Can you show us? Could you turn in? Yeah, and then kind of
maybe.
Yeah. There it is. Okay, very good. So you put the bombilla over, because I know in Argentina they do it the opposite way. They put the bombilla under, on the other side. So you're putting it over. I see.
Yeah, exactly. And then what I do is like that would be my hole, right? And that's where I kind of like pour the water in and do the same thing as hot. Just go up and up and up, right? Until like everything's. And then they have a saying, they just put it in like this, and I just sit for it. It has to sip in. So they call it Santo Tomás, because, well, there's the irony. Tomás, tomar means drinking.
Yeah.
And Thomas was a saint, and he's obviously dead because he's a saint. So he's not visible, but somebody's sipping on that. So it's Santo Tomás drinking the first sip, right?
Oh, nice.
Sometimes
I like the little legends.
Yeah, so right now he's a little bit slow, but he'll keep up.
So the same principle applies, I'm assuming, in Paraguay, where you're putting in water first and letting it absorb. That's kind of tempering the mate, protecting the mate. But in our case here with Paraguayan mate, you're not putting in hot water after. So
It's just so you can drink it, because if not, if you're too fast and don't let Santo Tomas drink it,
yeah,
you're standing, it just air gets in, you know.
Ah, okay. So it's more of a practical reason. You're waiting. Yeah.
Reason, yeah, that's what they use there. Yeah.
Nice. Now, how much mate would you say, like the typical Paraguayan drinks on a daily basis? We're talking like a liter, a couple liters, 2 liters.
So this thing has about 2 or 2.5 liters, and I would dare to say they drink at least 2 thermoses a day.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so they drink a lot, and they Yerba maybe, because when I lived with my wife and both of us lived like solo in Asunción, Paraguay, we're drinking like at least like, you know, a kilo a week.
Yeah.
You know? And that's not even a lot. Like a lot of Paraguayans just sit all day long, drink terere.
Yeah.
And so Paraguayans like easily down like 4 kilos a month, I would say.
4 kilos a month.
I would easily say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because I think in Argentina, I think the per capita of mate consumed, I think it's something like, wow, I could be wrong, but it might only be like 10 kilos, which doesn't sound right to me, though. They must drink more than 10 kilos.
It's like 10 kilos a year, right?
Yeah, per capita. But it doesn't sound right to me. I think they drink more than that.
The thing is this, though. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, if you drink it hot, you can't drink it as much. I mean, yes, you can, but it'll overpower you. If you drink it cold, you can drink it all day long. I mean, it's just like as overpowering. And then Paraguayans have like their typical tereres go like this. Okay, so in the mornings, obviously they go up work 7 a.m. Like that's like a typical 7 a.m. till 12, then 2 hour siesta, and then from 2 to 6 or whatever p.m. That's like a normal day for them. So I would say around 9 and 10, they take a break of like at least 15 minutes or half an hour, at least around 15 to half an hour. And they sit in around, they call it terere rupa, because everything's mixed, Spanish and Guarani. So they have like, so what they do is they buy empanadas or buy some snacks, whatever salty snacks it is, eat it a little bit, and then have terere after. And then on their break. And then they don't do it for lunch though, because they have something like if they eat, they're full. They're saying, no, we can't, like, I'm full. I don't need to drink terere because I'm full. Like it'll just fill me up, whatever. So they don't drink terere because it's ice cold. So they don't drink ice cold after food, like after lunchtime, and then have it throughout the afternoon. Typically in a circle, they drink it like at 4 p.m. maybe in a circle, but everybody has their own equipment, goes around. And then at evenings, some very traditional guys drink mate then if it's not too hot outside. Yeah.
So you're saying in the morning, though, they don't drink terere in the morning?
No, not early morning. Like that. Yeah. They would do mate if they're very hardcore into it. Then would do mate and then, So terere, I mean, it is really humid and hot, right? I mean, it's really hot and humid. So even people from Peru, they come to Asunción and they're like, this is just like a teapot. It's just like steaming hot, you know, humid. Like Asunción is right at that belt where it's like even hotter than Buenos Aires or all this. It's just very humid and hot.
That's interesting because, you know, some people wouldn't even care how hot it is and they'll still drink the hot mate. Like that's how I was. Like
Argentinians.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have so many
Argentinians. They'll drink mate hot all year round.
To them, like I remember one time it was like January, which is like freaking hot summer over there, and it was like 44 outside, and this Argentinian truck driver comes up to our working place and he's like, could I have like hot water for my mate? Looking this guy, right? Hot mate. I mean, look, whatever.
¿Qué te pasa?
Okay, but so Paraguay make jokes about like they like to like mess around with you. So he brought like water from one canister and water from the other canister. One was red and one was green. He said, okay, what water do you want for your special, right? What water you want?
Yeah.
He just looks at him like, whatever water. No. Like there's a special water. Like that water. No, for your hot mate, that might not be good. Like just try to green container. That is better.
Oh man. Just playing with them. That's crazy. In Argentina, they actually have hot water dispensers.
Yeah, and in Paraguay on a highway, on some place, They do have as well. Like we'll see like it says pajarito on the stand or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Tataguí has one.
yeah, and you put a coin in, and it just because you have something called La Ruta del Terere, which is kind of like the highway of Terere in Paraguay. Same La Ruta del Mate in Argentina. In Paraguay, so you go to these special places, and obviously you will get like dispensers, cold, but yeah, you don't need cold because every corner they sell ice, water, jujos, like every single meter of the country, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
No.
Somebody asked a question. Let's see if they asked yerba mate or green tea for athletic performance. I mean, if I had to pick one, I would obviously I'm going to go with mate for athletic performance. But for me, and I'll let you answer next, Mike. But for me, I don't even really consider mate when it comes to like athletic performance. I just drink it all day long. It's a lifestyle for me, so it's hard for me to answer that question because mate is in my system 24/7. So yeah, but I do notice that before I like to run or before I do yoga, I do like to drink. Make sure I have some good mate in me, a good amount of it. It does help me kind of sustain myself. Green tea, I noticed when I used to drink a lot of it, it didn't really have that effect on me. It didn't really boost my power. It kind of calmed me down, green tea, and obviously it's good for my health, but it doesn't give you the boost of power that mate gives, at least in my experience. What about you, Mike?
I did lots of sports. I even like played almost professionally American football.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Nice, dude.
I did lots of sports. So, obviously, if you drink it hot, it'll get more powerful, and you're like chattier, you're bright, and whatever. Like right now, I'm working on the docks, and like you need lots of energy, and mate gives me that energy all day long. And
yeah.
People are like, "Hey, you're crazy. What's wrong with you?" You know. Whatever. But the thing is, depending where you are, because when you do a high performance sport, you're sweating, you're hot, and if I'm hot, I don't want to drink hot mate. I mean, for me, it would just overheat my body. I just wouldn't like it. I mean, if I do it while I'm training or whatever, before it's okay. Because when I was in Paraguay, I did like jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and like it gets really sweaty with the whole gear, and then like you're in the heat. So what we did is have iced tea ready to go. But what we did is we put like some jujos that are for performance used by the natives. And that really is not even everywhere in Paraguay. It's only in the Chaco. It's called palo azul, which would be blue stick, literally. And this stick, they like natives put in for hunting or going to war. They just like kind of chop it, and it has like loads of the same effect than coconut has. Like if you sweat, it brings back the minerals and electrolytes or whatever, lots of electrolytes and that natural energy. So if you put that in, yeah, you might get like nice jujos. You just have to know the jujos. The problem is jujos. Yeah, we're in North America, so I don't.
Yeah.
Answer that question because I know some of those jujos, like there's like in China, Chaco, you would get those roots. They were freaking amazing because these roots, they were kind of like you would crush them, and inside it looks like coconut. It looks like a yuca or casco or whatever, mandioca, and inside it's white, and it's kind of like exactly like a coconut inside. And that stuff like, gave you electrolytes all day long and made you like piss like loads and loads. Rid of all that stuff. But that stuff, if you didn't consume it within 2 days, it got bad. The real
okay.
Just in the Chaco, and sometimes you couldn't even get it down to the capital city, and it got bad. You know.
Right.
And when I was picking those up, when I was flying down there, like as a bush pilot, and when I was picking them up, I froze them and hadn't brought it back frozen. Yeah, I wouldn't get them. Yeah.
That's interesting. So it sounds like there's many ways that people could prepare terere. They could do it the most traditional way, as you explained, where they have that thermos, the ice, they crush up the herbs. But what would you say about some of the things that like I've been explaining to people like in the United States, just a simple idea of adding cold water to your yerba mate as opposed to hot water? Would you consider that terere, or what would you consider that? Just taking cold water and using that to pour into your gourd as opposed to hot water. Forget about all the other herbs or anything like that. Just mate, cold water.
Yeah, that's terere.
That's terere. That's
because terere. What was the first? Where and how was the first like mate whatever been prepared by the Guaranis? and it was water from the natural springs. It's kind of like cold, but it's not ice cold with ice, but it's very refreshingly cold, and that's how they drank it, right? So that's like the most. It's called terere, and I know, for an example, people that are not from the city, they drink it. Lots of times they're so used to not drinking it with ice, because for them it's too cold. Like if you drink it too cold, it's not good for your health either. Like you get all here and there and whatever.
Yeah.
What we did when we were gauchos in the Gran Chaco, because the Chaco, like I said, is like barren and dry, and it's 45 outside, and we didn't have ice. We're like in isolated areas where you have like 500 kilometers, nobody living. I mean, it's like freaking isolated, right?
Yeah.
And talking about real gauchos. So what we did is we had these plastic canisters. We put like old like clothes, whatever, around, wrapped it around with wires or whatever, so it stayed there, right? And then we wet them, like made them wet, and the wind kind of refreshes it at least a little bit,
Yeah.
So you have like a little bit of like a layer of refreshingness to it. And I was from the city. I was used to drinking like freaking. They called me the penguin because I was like filling my thermos with ice, like ice cold, right? And now I go there and no ice whatsoever. For me, it was like, this is the end of the world. I mean, this is hell. No ice.
Wow. So you're hardcore, man. You were making it happen no matter where you are.
Yeah. No. Terere, it's like, even my dad like told me, hey, stop drinking that much terere. Like, you have to drink water. Like, you're not drinking enough water. Because it's like, I mean, I grew up, like I said, I was 1 year old. I just drank it all day long. I mean, I liked it since I was like, even like I was walking on the streets with my thermos like this, and people are like, man, you're so brave. Why? They have something in Spanish like que pelada, which means like, oh, it's embarrassing, like that's for poor people. Like, why would you walk with it? It's this mentality.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't care, man.
Live your life, man. Live your life.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Mike, let me ask you, how would you compare? Now, let's just talk about Paraguayan mate in general. How would you compare Paraguayan mate to Argentinian mate and to Brazilian mate? How would you compare, like in terms of the flavor profiles? If you're just generalized, you don't have to go too deep.
Okay, let's start off with Argentinian and Paraguayan. I think like I tried like Argentinian drink, Yerba drinking it cold too, but it has this, I don't know, smoky taste, but it has like a metallic taste. I don't know. It's like a taste that I'm not used to, and I don't like drinking. I'll be honest with you. Argentinian,
so you don't like Argentinian mate, you're saying?
Ice cold. Like
you don't like it cold?
Yeah, I drink it hot, man. It's my. Okay, I know I will get a lot of boo-hoos right now, but
it's all right.
I like Paraguay, I like Las Marias, and I like Canarias. Those are my favorite. I know it could be like cliche, whatever, but
that's fine.
That I was a little kid and I had to, like, my dad was driving on the road and he's very like into Paraguay, and I had to serve him as a kid, and I had to smell. It's just nostalgia, name it whatever. So for me, it works. So those are my go-to for hot, like Las Marias and Canarias. And and for cold, I like Pajarito, for example. Right now I have the special edition. I like the old classic cheap, paperback, because that's like the most woodsier flavor. And what I could see is in North America, a lot of people into La Rubia, actually. In Paraguay, it's the most pricey one.
This guy, Rick is really putting it through. Are you familiar with this company?
With who?
Rick from Go Yerba Mate. He's like a big distributor of Paraguayan brands. Yeah. Like he's like the man. Like he's I'm surprised you never heard of him. He's like the largest importer apart from like Guayaquil and a couple apart from Guayaquil. Yeah.
I saw Go Yerba Mate, but I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those guys they're bringing their focus is Paraguayan mate. Okay. Yeah. But and La Rubia and Pajarito are like their biggest imports.
La Rubia, for example, is limited production, so they make so many, and it's organic and whatnot, right? And it's the most expensive pack you will get in Paraguay from the Paraguayan market. For me, it has a complete different taste than any other Paraguayan yerba mate. It's like it's.
And why? Why do you think it is? Because it's organic, or is because of the soil?
because it's staged longer, like about 3 years or something. It's like you can taste. It's like it has been out there for more.
You're saying because it's been aged longer. You're saying
that's what I would say, right? And personally, I don't fancy La Ruga that much. It's for me. People told me drink it hot, try it hot. I didn't try it hot yet. I'll try it hot, but the taste profile, no, I would go more for the typical Pajarita. I don't know. I could like because I grew up like that.
Well, my whole thing with and I might get some hate for this too, but my whole thing with Paraguayan mate, and the reason why I personally can't drink it every day, it can't be my everyday mate. Maybe because number one, I'm so used to Argentinian mate. That's where I basically grew up in terms of my mate experience, and I feel that Paraguayan mate. Now I love it; it's great, but it has such a strong character to it. Like, and I drink mate hot most of the time. So when I drink it hot, it's like very like explosive. The flavor profile for me, it's explosive. It's intense.
Yeah.
So I've tried it. I just can't drink it every day. Like I'm very used to like the light-bodied Argentinian mates where I could drink it every day, all day long. Like Anna Park, I could drink Anna Park all day long.
That's why, for example, I like, for example, Taragüi or these brands because I know what I'm getting into when I buy one. It's not like, okay, tomorrow it's this taste, today it's that taste.
Yeah.
Wine Yerbas normally. They go all over the place, you know? And you drink it hot. Cold, you don't feel the difference. When you drink it hot, it's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, just boom, hits you, man. Hits you hard.
And Taragüi for me, Las Marias or whatever, or Canarias, I know the profile. That profile I will get in each and every bag. There's a lot of Argentinian brands that you drink. Today it's kind of strong. Tomorrow it's lighter, and I don't like that. I like a dependable one. Like, okay, I know what is in that bag. You know?
Yeah.
I just like that taste, or whatever.
Of course. So, let me hear you compare now. How would you compare Paraguayan mate with Brazilian mate? But remember, guys, let's make a distinction of Brazilian mate. For those of you just chiming in about your mate in Brazil. Just to really oversimplify, there's two different categories of mate. There's the category, what I personally call gaucho mate, where it's mate that's grown for the Uruguayan market. And that mate is very powdery, has minimal amount of palos or white twigs, and it has a malty taste profile. That's what I call gaucho mate, grown in southern Brazil for Uruguayans. And then there's another type of mate, what I call native Brazilian mate, also called erva mate or chimarrão. And that mate is not aged. It's very green. It's super powdery in most cases. And it has a very light, almost sweet-like flavor profile. So that's the distinction between the two different primary types of mate in Brazil. There's other different types. We won't get into that. But how would you compare Paraguayan to those two types of mates in Brazil?
Well, you just mentioned it doesn't come with the palos, the twigs, right? So that's for starters right there. And Canarias is still kind of like brown. It's not that green. So, but yeah, you wouldn't have that. Okay, no palos. No, like I would say the grinding process is different. Then you have that native Brazilian, which is just like I said, like just right into the bag, you know, green as it gets. And for me, it's like every other yerba mate, it's over there, you know. It's like Like I didn't even know that this green stuff existed till I came to Vancouver. It's like because it's so small. I mean, it's just southern Brazil. It's like two whatever states. It's just so small.
3, yeah.
Oh, 3, yeah. Nobody even knows about it. It's like, oh, you guys drink mate too? No?
And it's so funny to see how like the Argentinians and Brazilians and the Uruguayans, they're all still so surprised about each other. Like I've heard Argentinians be like, what is the green? Why is it so green? Like they don't even know. And then I've seen the Brazilians who are like, why does your mate look so brown?
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know. Yeah. So it's kind of like there's such still a wide gap of understanding between the countries. And then obviously even here in the United States, that's a given. People, it's still relatively new.
No, well, the thing is, when I grew up, I knew that, okay, there are a couple of Brazilians over there. They drink it terere as well. But that's just because they live close to Paraguay.
Yeah.
They live close to Paraguay. Okay, that's why I drink terere as well. But just them, you know. And then the rest doesn't even know what that is.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Speaking about terere, okay, I won't mention who it is, but there's the largest, one of the largest farms in one of the largest providers of mate in Brazil. They have different types of mate that they produce and they export. And then the one that they call terere, they call the terere blend. And essentially, it's basically Argentinian cut Brazilian mate, and they call it terere. That's their name for the blend, terere. So it's interesting how they call it terere, basically the cut, an Argentinian cut of Brazilian mate, they call terere. And for those of you guys who want to know, Argentine cut is essentially wide leaves with the inclusion of powder or polvo in Spanish, and the inclusion of white stems, also known as palos. So it's a mixture between all three of those components.
Yeah. No, the thing is, you know, there is a thing going on with Paraguay and Brazil, for example. They don't hate each other, but the thing is, for example, Brazilians, they are known as like to be bandeirantes, which is like flaggers, I call them. Like they have their flag and they come into your country and they just put nice schools and whatever, and, you know, and that's how they kind of like get into the territory. And Paraguayans are very jealous of the terere, you know, and it was called Ilex Paraguayensis. But there is a story going on that Brazilians wanted to take that name away. They wanted to brand market it as terere. That is national Brazilian.
Wait, Brazil wanted to call it terere?
Oh yeah, I mean the whole like the Yerba mate terere industry. That's a story that I heard when I was like,
wow, I'm shocked. Why would Brazil want to call it terere?
That's bandeirantes. They just want to flag everything.
Yeah.
For us, it was like, don't take our terere away. Are you nuts? Like that? You have everything. You took everything from the Triple Alliance War. Everything. Just leave us with our terere, you know?
Oh, you mentioned the war. We're gonna get a lot of comments on that.
I know. But that's all. Don't take terere away from us. That's just as Paraguayan as it gets. Like I'm telling you, you go on the streets and you will see guys just walking with it all over the place.
Well, the good thing about, and I kind of just want to set the record straight, and I'm not an expert. Well, maybe I am a little bit of an expert on this, but from all the research I've ever done on mate, and I've done research for 8-9 years now, extensive research, talking to experts, talking to scientists, sociologists, anthropologists, and I have to give it to Paraguay because in all the research I've done, most scientists will agree that mate does derive from Paraguay, you know, from the eastern forest of Paraguay. But now the caveat is this. There are regions that used to be Paraguay that are now Brazil and that is now Argentina. So that's where this whole, you know, polemical like war of like drama unfolds. You know, but geographically speaking, just everything aside, nations aside, all that aside, it does appear to me that mate was first discovered in a country that was called Paraguay, even though that country has been split up and broken into pieces right now.
I would say what we know now of Paraguay and maybe the bordering Brazil to Paraguay was the natural habitat. I think, I mean, here you could correct me because I'm not an expert on this, but I think all the Argentinian stuff came with the Jesuits, you know, Jesuits. They came up with the whole, because it wasn't their thing back then. And you know the shocking thing is, I was talking the other day with Argentinians, and they don't know about that story. They're like, oh, el mate es nuestro. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
I don't want
My Porteño friends are going to kill you. No, I'm joking. Che, ¿qué te pasa? ¿Qué te pasa? Every time someone writes a bad review on these videos, I say, ¿qué te pasa?
And then I was like, okay, I won't pick sides on any side here. I will just put this out. How is yerba mate called in Latin? I said, they didn't even know that. I said, okay, look what it says here. Ilex Paraguayensis. Thank you, France, by the way. And so, first, second of all, where the region I explained, like where Paraguay and Brazil, I told all the story, they're like this. Oh,
yeah,
you know that. Yeah, I'm not picking sides. I'm just telling how the thing.
Well, let's give the viewers a little bit of the history. So my version of that situation, and there is no real correct explanation of it, but essentially the Jesuits were missionaries from Spain. They were basically the missionary arm of Spain that took control. Well, they didn't technically take control. The region was under control by the Spanish, and who else had control of it? The Spanish and well, let's just say the Spanish right now.
Let's just say
so
Spanish.
The Jesuits were basically the missionaries that wanted to reform the locals, that wanted to reform and save the indigenous peoples, the local population. And
submitting them, yeah.
Exactly. Technically, it looked to me that they were enslaving the locals.
It was like that.
Slavery. It seemed like they were hurting them, torturing them, killing them. Not. This is where it gets a little gray, tricky, because they had certain people who went out and their job was to capture the locals and bring them back to the missionary. So it's kind of like, who was really responsible? That's a whole nother subcontext. But anyway, let's say these Jesuits basically enslaved the locals, and they forced them to do certain things and to make violins and to learn the language and what have you. But they noticed that they were drinking mate all day long. They were like, "What are you drinking? What are you drinking?" And the locals kept it a secret for a long time.
Yeah.
Essentially, the Jesuits figured it out. And they started growing yerba mate, and they created the first commercial plantation of yerba mate, and that's what really exploded yerba mate globally.
That happened
We're talking mid 1500s now, early to mid 1500s.
Paraguay and Argentina, what now is the whole Itapúa, Misiones, that region, Paraguay, Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Paraguay, you have a lot of Jesuit ruins as well. And when you go, we will check it out.
Yeah. I'll be over there soon.
So, and then you have Brazil and Paraguay, that buffering with where it really kind of started,
Yeah. Because if you look at an old map of the Jesuits redactions, the Jesuits temples, so to speak, you see that they're dotted across all three of the countries. They're dotted across current day Argentina, current day Brazil, current day Paraguay. Current day, I don't know about Uruguay, maybe. You'll see that they had control over that large swath of land.
Yeah.
And back then, like we spoke about before, there wasn't clear borders between these countries. It was more just like, this is my territory, that's your territory, this is our territory, this territory is everybody's, So it's hard to really say.
New world. It was just like the Wild West. You just put
Wild West, man.
Yeah, put the stakes on, that's mine, whatever. Yeah.
Right. So a couple more questions are coming in. Mm-hmm. Someone asked, what brands would you recommend for drinking in the summer? They're about to go out and buy some mate right now. So what brands would you recommend?
Ice cold.
For cold? Yeah.
Okay. But now it really depends on how they want to drink it. Do you want to drink it blended already? Do you want to drink it as such?
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm assuming they're in the United States. So with that in mind, what would you, recommend for something that they could access in the United States that they could drink cold?
Well, one would be Kurupi. It's a nice one to start if you're just starting out and, you don't want to be overpowered by the taste or whatever. But I didn't live in the States. I've been all over the States, but I didn't live there. But living in Canada, you know what I get? I drink it hot and I drink it cold. Everybody wanted to try when I was drinking cold because there's this cool horn and leather thermos, and they're like, you're like a freaking Indiana Jones or whatever. So they just want to try it. And what they really like is mint in it, minty. They just really like it minty, and or lemony. So Kurupi, for an example, has mint in it. I know Kurupi is from the one that is blended. Compuestas. I think I could dare say that it might be at least between the best, or if not the best, from the blended ones. Because the problem is you'll get other ones that are blended and the taste is kind of cheap. It's just that the oil that they put in there, it's not the same. It's not for example, pajarito. I don't like blended pajarito. It's not too bad, but Kurupi is better in it. And Campesino is a huge one. Campesino has everything blended, everything. Yeah. So I would go Campesino is it Yerbas Compuestas? They call it, I think, a green one.
Mm-hmm.
That one's very good, you know. Don't go for menta and limon, which is mint and lemon. Don't go for that. That's like a weird taste.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Menta and like I like lime, I like mint, but I don't like them both together in one.
Mm.
And it's
zesty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would go with Krupi, the Campesino ones. And if you want to go really like kind of like as such, right? Just the yerba mate, there's Pajarito, which is okay. It's a little bit stronger than the other. Selecta is a nice smooth one.
Selecta, okay.
That is in the States. I mean, between Selecta and Pajarito, Selecta is smoother. Like Pajarito is stronger in taste.
Okay, cool.
Go with those. I mean, obviously La Rubia, I mean, I see that it has a huge success in the States, so probably that's what people go there for, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just from my experience, those are the brands that kind of are drinking down there. And then get everywhere, that's another thing. So, see, for example, I could be a huge fan of this, but this you don't get anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Go there, it's not there, you know? Or this guy, you know? This guy is not even out there.
No. We gotta bring that over.
Shoot out to huge Zane. This one's yours, eh?
Zane, what's up, Zane? Matero Zane. I'm sure he's watching in, or he'll watch this later. Who knows? He might be watching right now.
So that one is for him. Yeah, whatever. So I would go with those brands. Those are classic brands. I mean, by all means. I mean, what I've seen or tasted, because like I said, when I was in Paraguay, I didn't taste all like, you go, oh, let's have a gourmet pajarito this week, or let's have a gourmet. No, you just drink a brand, whatever is out there, right? But from tasting all the Paraguayan brands, and when you drink Paraguayan brands as such, right, just yerba mate, they're pretty much almost very similar. Like La Rubia is out there, not in the pot, but the rest, like Selecta, the other ones, they're so close to the taste profile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because
when you a lot of the Paraguayan mates do have quite similar taste profiles. Well, you may know more about this. Okay, so in Argentina, a lot of the large mate companies, what they do is they're essentially blending different sources of mate from different regions of the country or different farms of the country, and they're creating their blends like that under one brand. I wonder if the same thing happens in Paraguay. It sounds like it does, where one large company may buy certain, parcels of mate from like 10 or 20 or 50 or 100 different sources of small farmers, and then use that mate to create their singular brand. So it's not like a pure, it's not a pure source mate. It's multi-source.
With tobacco in Paraguay, for an example.
Tobacco? What'd you say?
Tobacco. Like Paraguay is huge into tobacco, and it's good prime tobacco. Like Paraguayan tobacco is really good. And they do that. Like the big tobacco companies, they out like source like that. But with yerba mates, because the land is so freaking cheap in Paraguay, they have their own huge land.
We got to start our farm. I mean,
I told you it's still in my dream, like to have my it's the province is called Cordillera, which is kind of like neighboring to the capital, kind of whatever, and it's Cordillera, which is kind of like hills and stones. Oh, here comes another history fact, and this is what I've heard. Okay, I could be wrong, but today we have Paraguay, which is kind of like in the Cordillera. Paraguay is so Paraguay is actually the most, from the southern cone of South America, the first place where human whatever remains have been found, or like the oldest, most ancient one. So it's been believed that Paraguay, which is in the Cordillera, is the first place where tribes were formed down there, like the Guaranis, like where everything started, the original, like the original grounds as per se. So that region, I'm really interested in buying something like close to, because it's called the backyard of the country, because it's beautiful. Like you have waterfalls, lots of private waterfalls, kind of like jungle-ish with the whole palm trees. And I want to buy a piece of land, hammock, a waterfall, and just drink like right up that waterfall, right?
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Refreshing.
That's awesome, man. I love it. So let's kind of sum everything up for those guys and gals watching, what would be sort of your parting information to them on Terere Yerba Mate?
Okay, before I go there, I just want to say I promised a couple of guys at Circle of Drink to tell why it's called pajarito.
Oh, please, yes.
Yeah, because I heard like so many crazy stories. Like some said, "Oh, it's because the birds poop whatever, and no." In Paraguay, there is a symbolic animal which is called pájaro campana, which it means like campana is like the bell, so it's a bell bird.
Mm-hmm.
The bell sound. It's like. It's unique. It's beautiful. Like back in the days, you could hear it all over the place. Now it's very rare. When you go into the countryside, it's like I can't explain. Just put in pájaro campana sound in YouTube, whatever, and you know what it's like. It's the most unique sound you hear in nature, and it's
Pájaro campana.
Pájaro campana, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so this pájaro campana is even like in a soccer football team of Paraguay is the mascot, because it's the symbolic. All this. See, there's the harp, whatever, the Paraguayan harp. It's like been said that it's been founded in Paraguay, that style of harp, right? And all these songs, they go off with a beeping, beeping, like that's what like it sounds or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's a huge thing, and that's why it's called pajarito, because
it's called pajarito
because of the pájaro campana.
And the pájaro campana is just the bird with the bell, the sound of the bird and the bell.
It's a symbol in the countryside of Paraguay.
Okay.
You wake up and hear the sound.
Oh, it's like a rooster, like in the United States.
Kind of like a rooster, but more like natural jungle style.
Yeah.
It's a little bird, but it has like a freaking strong, like whatever. So and when it calls, like everybody gets up, prepares, drinks mate if you want. So
yeah.
So
wait a minute, the pajarito, is that similar to the Canarias? Why, do you know the story of Canarias? Why they call it Canarias?
Research on Canarias because I freaking love Canarias. And
Does that do with a bird as well, or no?
No. Mm-hmm. No. Canarias, there was a huge immigration of the Canarias Islands, Canary Islands, to what now is Uruguay and Buenos Aires and all that whole region. And one of the families, of the many, many poor families, the same what happened with Cuban cigars. Why are they old Spanish names or Catalan names? Because those are poor Spanish people coming, doing a fortune. The same with the yerba mate. And then a couple of brothers got together, and because their parents came from Canarias, honored to them, they put the name Canarias. And I did my whole research. I'm not taking it out of the blue. It's like that. It has nothing.
Good, okay. Because I know a lot of people in the past, I think even myself in the past, have said something that has something to do with the bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Okay, it's good that we set the record straight on that.
Yeah, so and that's better for me because I like the exotic Canarias. It sounds so exotic.
I remember the first time I had Canarias, I'll never forget it. I told the story a million times, but basically I was in Argentina, and I was like, I got to get this brand Canarias. Because I was so intrigued by it. I seen pictures, and nobody was selling it in any of the local stores I was going to. So I did some research online. I found it like basically in the ghetto, like in the store in the ghetto. My friends were like, I told my friends I'm gonna go walk over there. It was like a half an hour from where I was living. I was like, I'm just gonna go walk and go get it. They were like, you're crazy, man. You're going to like the hood. I said, I'll be all right.
You look like
I look like I'm from the hood.
I would go there.
You racist bastard.
That's how they.
I'm a chameleon, dude.
Yeah,
not exactly. I could walk into the hood unscathed. People respect me, man. I just walk in.
That's what it is.
I walked right in, man. I was like, all right, this place isn't so bad. I looked for the Canarias. I found the Canarias. I got my Canarias. I walked back home. I drank the Canarias. I was like, yeah, this is a different experience. This is a different experience. I like it. It's not my everyday. I can't drink it every day. I'm biased. I can only drink Argentine mate every day, but I like Canarias. It has that malty taste to it.
But yeah, you said to sum it all up. What do you want to hear about summing everything?
Yeah,
up?
I was just saying. How would you basically sum up this conversation in terms of someone just found out about cold yerba mate? They probably just watched this video. Now, how would you send them on their way? What sort of advice would you give them to go upon their journey of drinking terere, cold yerba mate from Paraguay?
So first of all, obviously, it's not for the medicinal purposes. Then you would go hot, obviously. that's why it was invented hot, kind of like because scientists said hot's better, whatever, yada yada yada. But if you want to enjoy a nice like drink it, like people that never got in touch with yerba mate, they enjoy drinking cold because then that's strong, you know. So it's a better way to ease people into the whole yerba mate is go through the whole terere first, maybe if it's warm outside, because if it's ice cold outside, and trust me, I lived in Winnipeg where it's winter peg where it was like minus 48 sometimes. Yeah. And even in a warm apartment, you drink it and you get like all this like swollen up because it's not good. It's just not good. So it has to be a warm climate to drink it, to really enjoy it. It has to be warm or sunny, whatever. And to sum it up, you know, get yourself a thermos. I mean, obviously these leather thermos, I should make a business out of that because everybody wants them. Everybody wants them and you don't find them. But you would get something where you can store a lot of ice and water. You can get the Coleman or whatever, kind of like the whole, you know, the thermos industry, right?
Yeah.
Get yourself like the bombilla and whatever horn. I try to tell people, don't get mate, hot mate Gourd for you, terere, because it's not the same shape. It doesn't make sense. The whole thing will just destroy. Just get something that looks like a cup or like a horn, kind of like this shape. This shape is the best, though.
So you talk about a cylinder. A cylinder.
Yeah. Okay. And the horn of this kind of like curve, for me, is the freaking bestest of bestest for terere because it has this natural like curve where you can put the yerba kind of like this, you know,
on a slope.
It's just so lush. It's just like, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's just way better. Okay, so we got that. Drink it, like put ice in it. Find your temperatures because if it's too cold, the taste is too watery. Like you won't taste it. If it's too warm, maybe it's just in between being hot and cold, and it's not that nice. So just get your own temperature. How much ice? Some do less. Some do more. So just get ice in there, maybe almost half full or not as half full. Water.
Yeah.
The whole setup, the yerba. And then start drinking it like you would drink hot mate, kind of like pouring into that water hole, slowly working yourself up. So it's all washed. And if you drink terere, in my opinion, try to find Paraguayan brands because, in my opinion, they're more tastier to drink it cold. That's my humble opinion on it. So find a Paraguayan brand. If you really want to enjoy it, find blends. Like it's the nicest and easiest way to get into cold mate terere. Just drink like the blends. I mean, it's nothing wrong with the blend.
Pre-made, yeah.
Because we don't get all these fancy herbs up here, you know. So
no, I like what you said about the cold water. I just want to extrapolate on that for a second. So, and I noticed this myself.
Yeah,
there's a big difference between ice cold water, hot water, obviously, lukewarm water, mildly chilled water. And you know, when I was preparing my latest blend of what I call mate frio, cold yerba mate, I noticed that exactly like what you said. I noticed when the water was freezing cold, like ice freezing cold, it kind of masked some of the taste profiles.
Exactly.
When the water it was like too cold, so then I started to do experiments just on timing how long I was going to leave this water bottle in the freezer or in the fridge, and I found that the best terere for me was water that wasn't quite frozen. It was water that was chilled. I will call it chilled. That was in the fridge for half an hour, 40 minutes, you know, around there where it's really cold, but it's not super cold. I would call that chilled. And for me, I found that's the best flavor profile. But to tell you the truth, I also kind of liked room temperature water too. I found that kind of interesting. That room temperature water was interesting.
Temperature is the original way.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, actually.
No, and Paraguayans, like the real old ancient Paraguayan way was to drink it like normal water. So they didn't have fridges out there or whatever. It's just like, okay, this is the water you get. You can't even heat it up.
Yeah.
You can't put it cold, you can't heat it. Just get the freshest water you can find.
The freshest water you can find.
Tribal. Let's go tribal on here. Like that's it, man.
That's awesome, Mike. Wow, you dropped that knowledge on us today, man. You dropped a lot of knowledge on this whole.
Yeah, so blends, man. I just want to help, you know, the whole community. Just like you, maybe not as hardcore as you, but I just like to, you know.
Dude, man, you know, like I always tell people,
Yeah.
my training of yerba mate, a lot of it's autodidactic on my own, but a lot of it comes from Argentina, just living in Argentina for over 3 years. So, talking to someone such as yourself from Paraguay and talking to people directly from Uruguay, talking to people directly from Brazil, that helps fill a lot of gaps in my own knowledge, So that's amazing that, I would consider you an expert on Paraguayan mate. So for you to be on Circle of Drink, a real true Paraguayan expert on Terere and Yerba from there, that's amazing. That's a great honor for you to be here talking. So I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you.
No, and like I said, it depends as well on what is your outside temperature. For example, if it gets like, let's say Celsius, okay, not Fahrenheit, let's say Celsius, I don't know, like 40 out there, like blazing hot, right? Obviously, you want your water a little bit ice colder because you just want like to refresh. The terere is to refresh, just be fresh.
Yeah.
It depends on the temperature. So I would like the ice or cold water. I would, equal out with the temperature. Just find your sweet spot there. Find your sweet spot. That's it. I
love it.
Yeah. And it's just refreshing. Have fun. And for me, I would say to the whole mate thing to get in, the best way is go through terere because it's the most smoothest one on your palate. Like it's not like overpowering. People they get hot and they're like first like, oh, they have to be pushed almost into it.
Yeah.
Until they're like, wow, this is awesome,
Yeah.
So you're not being pushed. They really like it. It's like, oh, it freaking looks cool, It's like look from an ancient movie or whatever. And just ease them in. That's how I ease my whole working community, man. They're all drinking that stuff because I did that, I was like I being a mate banderante, put the flag in.
Just hold it. You have to. And that's great that you bring that up because there's a lot of people watching this video. They never had mate. They're just finding out about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the biggest barrier to entry, in my opinion, is the taste. Now, for me, I love the taste of mate. I drink it all day long. But I have to admit, though, I wasn't used to the initial bitterness when I first started drinking it. So it took me some time to kind of really ease my way into it. But I don't know how this works, and no scientist knows how this works. But there's a funny thing that happens with yerba mate. Even if you don't like it at first and you keep on drinking it, all of a sudden, after a couple days or a couple weeks, your mind teaches your body to start loving it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I love this. Like,
yeah.
You know how many emails I've gotten over the years of people like, Dave, at first, I don't know. Yeah. But then a couple weeks later of just drinking it every day or every couple days. And then they're like, oh my God, it's my savior. So look at how powerful mate is. The fact that it could do that.
Oh yeah. And another good thing is, before I forget, this is a huge thing. Since Paraguayans are huge into the whole tobacco thing, I mean, not like cigarettes, like cigars. They even have their own plantation. So they have their own yerba mate plantation over there, small batch of tobacco. And they just walk there, just casually walk in, take the leaf, roll it on their legs, roll it in a nice cigar. But it really looks good for just. And that's how I had my cigars in the countryside. And then they go casually, from their grind, whatever, get some yerba out, sit on a tree or a hammock or whatever, nice chill water, freaking cigar in one hand and then terere on the other, and just like pairing it. And that's the best refreshing because in there it's hot. So a cigar, if you just smoke it, it might get hot for you because
it's
hot,
it's a hot cigar. And
it just chills it down, So
that's awesome. I love that combination. I love it. I think I had a chapter. I know I had a chapter in my original book. I think I took it out, but I did have a chapter on the combination of cigars and mate. It's a powerful.
So what I do now is summer times. I go to the beach, buy myself a big fat cohiba, get my T-ray out because the whole terere, and I put maybe not too strong of mint, but because I just like the yerba and the cigar, so put a little bit of mint, hints of mint, whatever.
Yeah.
A mojito, whatever.
Yeah.
And then just drink it, man. Oh, it's just. Whew.
You're in heaven. You're in heaven. Dude, Maik, man, it's been an honor talking with you today. Thank you so much for coming on Circle of Drink and
anytime.
Dropping the knowledge on the people. The people needed this information.
Sure. Yeah.
And how could people find you? You're on the Telegram group, on Circle of Drink Telegram group.
So, by the way, Maik is written in like the German way of Maik, so it's M-A-I-K, so Maik, whatever. Just don't say Maik, but it's like, and then my last name is Klassen, Klassen, So put that in Facebook. I'm in Facebook. I mean, yeah, I make
Yeah.
friends. That's how I roll. Facebook. The circle.
Telegram group
Yeah.
on. So Telegram is a group. Telegram is an application that you can put on your phone. Just type in Telegram on your phone in the App Store. Telegram. Download that application and then just type in Circle of Drink. You'll find our group on Telegram. And Mike's a real active participant in that group, active Matero, passionate yerba mate enthusiast. So you'll find him, ask him questions.
Or on my email, like if you want to put it in a YouTube.
Yeah, no, go ahead and say your email too. Yeah, say your email.
If you have questions about the terere, just shoot. I want to help. Whatever I can do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your email so people know it? You could, if you want to say it, or if we want to type it.
No, sure, no problem. So now my email is the real Maik, because it's like the phonetics of the aviation phonetics. So it's Maik Kilo, like Maik Kilo .ca@gmail.com.
Okay, cool.
Maybe on YouTube, whatever.
Yeah, we'll write in the description.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly. And that's for more technical stuff. Just hit me up. And like I said, I'm not like, obviously I'm still a youngster. I hope I am. I'm not like a super ancient guru about it. I tried my best, so whatever I can do.
Dude, it was awesome, man. Yeah. I'm sure that you'll be able to assist a lot of people, with obtaining mate, and who knows. And you're such a passionate person, and you know so much about it in Paraguay that the mate industry is growing right now. We need people like you. Who have this information, like even in Argentina right now, like a lot of the small growers for the first time ever have literally just sold out everything. Like they can't sell it fast enough, like everything is going fast. So the international demand for mate is increasing and increasing and increasing. And Paraguay, I believe, in my opinion, is going to play a major part right now. Paraguay exports a lot of mate to the United States. The United States is actually the largest customer of Paraguayan mate.
You know that.
Yeah. And then the Middle East, I believe a lot of it's going over to the Middle East as well. That's mostly from Argentina, but I'm sure Paraguay does some of that business as well. So, Mike, let's keep the circle open. Let's keep the love flowing, the conversation flowing, the information sharing. And
before we go, I love my Brazilian friends. I love them. I love their country, whatever. It's just, I'm joking out there. I'm just No, we got a lot of people from all those countries watching these videos, and they all know that who we are. I'm just messing with them,
jokes and stuff. But cultures, every single mate culture. And in fact, I just want to say thank you to Paraguay, to Uruguay, to Brazil, and to Argentina. Thank you as a whole, those countries, for doing what you've done with yerba mate for the past 400 or 500 years. Thank you so much. But now it's time to really bring that plant globally, take it out of South America, bring it globally, start other farms outside of South America. Sorry, guys, but it's necessary. And, we got to get it going. I'm giving away all my secrets. I'm giving away all my secret plans. But that's another conversation. But, Mike, it's been a pleasure. Salud. Let's keep these going, brother. Let's keep the conversation going.
Peace.
All right, brother. Peace, man. I appreciate it.